sometimes sponsorships go completely wrong. So let's talk about the 3 mistakes you can avoid and the 3 situations that are out of your control. The first thing you can control is how you conduct yourself when a brand is frustrating. Even if you want to tear your hair out, you have to stay graceful. Your aim is not just to sign a one-off sponsorship deal, but to create a relationship with that brand so you can do multiple deals with them moving forward. You want them to hire you again and again and again. So there's gotta be a little give and take. You know how life sometimes throws unexpected curveballs at us? Well, that's not gonna stop because you recently signed a sponsorship. Something might come up in your personal life which impacts your time and attention. Or maybe your camera breaks or your computer shuts down on the day you were due to create the content, so you get delayed by a day or 2. Or maybe you were abducted by aliens who inserted a probe that's live streaming the remains of your last meal on TikTok.
Wait. That's never happened to you?
Look, just remember, your contact at the brand is also a person dealing with a bunch of curveballs. They're probably juggling a ton of different tasks, especially if it's a smaller brand or agency where they could be wearing 6 different hats. They might not have replied yet because they're talking your pitch through with their boss and trying to find the budget for you. Or they could literally just be out of the office for a few days. So even if you find yourself getting a little frustrated with the brand, don't lose your head and start sending them passive-aggressive emails.
You reply slower than my grandma, who doesn't even have a computer or know what the internet is.
Try to give them the benefit of the doubt so that you maintain a good relationship and keep the door open to future collaborations. Second mistake, when choosing your next sponsorship, don't ignore your gut. Sometimes you know deep down that your audience will not be interested in the product or service that you're about to promote. But you kind of want to promote it anyways because, well, money. This is especially tempting when you're just starting out as a creator and you receive that first glorious email from a brand offering to sponsor you.
I am greatly enjoying being a painting influencer. What's that? You want me to review your pineapple flavored vaping device? Sounds great!
Trust me, I get it. You don't know when the next deal is gonna come along, so when you see a 4 or even 5-figure deal on the table, it can be hard to say no. But your audience will see right through you, and it's not gonna take more than a couple of bad sponsorships before they don't trust you anymore. Your audience might even turn on that beef jerky brand that you just promoted and start tweeting them that you are literally vegan. That's not a good PR move for them or for you, and shoving a random brand in front of your audience's face that doesn't serve them, it's just not cool. And if you're not careful, other brands are gonna see that and they're gonna think twice before partnering up with you. Third mistake, always follow up with the brand after your partnership. Like we said at the start, you want each sponsorship to turn into a long-term relationship, right? So once the partnership is wrapped, you need to send them a post-campaign report and pitch them your next collaboration idea. Not only does this make you seem incredibly professional, but the brand might actually have another campaign about to start. And since they just had a great experience working with you, and you're showing them that you're excited about working with them again, you make it incredibly easy for them to say yes.
You can be my wingman anytime.
By the way, if you're thinking, post-campaign what? Then you're definitely gonna wanna check out my Brand Deal Wizard program that I teach 3 times a year, because we cover that in extreme detail. Just go to branddealwizard.com or click the link below. So those are 3 things that you can control, but what about the stuff that you can't? Well, the sponsorships that crash and burn are oftentimes because of things that are gonna be out of your hands. But the good news is that there are ways to minimize the wreckage and still get paid. First off, sometimes the brand will terminate the deal because their strategy has changed. Maybe the content no longer aligns with their goals, right? Or the budget was cut, or the executive team abruptly changes their minds. Whatever the case, the deal is off, and there's really nothing you can do about it. This has happened quite a few times to my wife April and me over the years, and that's why it's critical to have a clause in your contract stating the brand has to compensate you a pro rata fee if they terminate the deal and you are not in breach. This means that if the brand calls it off, they still have to pay you for the work that you've already put in. And by the way, I'm not a lawyer, but this is one of the most important things that you need to have in your contract. You have no control over the brand's actions, but you can ensure that you are protected if anything suddenly changes on their end. Off the back of that, a deal can go south, not because the brand changes their mind, but because new decision makers get brought into the fold. It could be an agency, maybe a VP, or even the legal team. A few years back, April and I had multiple meetings with a very large brand, signed a deal with them, shot all the content, and then after more than a month waiting for feedback, they wrote to us and said that their legal team had decided that they couldn't do this campaign. But you know what? They had to cut us a check for 5 figures to terminate the deal because we were protected contractually like we just discussed. This is real stuff. This happens. So trust me and protect yourself. Also, a sponsorship can fail because of issues with the actual promotion of the thing to your followers. It could be that the brand's website crashes, or their landing page is confusing. Maybe a promo code isn't working. Or you might have converted so many of your audience that the product itself goes out of stock. Again, these things are not your fault, but what you can do is plan ahead and try to sniff out these potential problems before you actually hit publish. Go look at their website to find stuff that's potentially confusing or clunky and make recommendations for how to optimize it. Ask them about the product's availability, especially if it's a newer brand, and make sure that they actually have the capacity to deal with your audience's potential demand. Test out the promo code that they give you to make sure it actually works ahead of time before you tell your audience about it. You need to approach this less like a creator and more like a consultant. It's in your best interest to analyze these things ahead of the launch because the experience your audience has won't just impact how they feel about that brand, but how they feel about you. And preserving your reputation as a creator with integrity who also has your audience's backs, well, that's paramount. So look, we're not done. Watch this video if you want to know about the time I spent nearly a whole year chasing a brand for payment and the one simple thing I should have done at the start, which could have prevented it.